Hejsa. So in the quilt where I'm using the quilt blocks I've been making in these videos, I sew them together to make this block of 4, which is the same size as the other block that I'm using. But for the blocks that I have been making in these videos, I'm not going to sew them into 4s. I'm just going to sew them together to one quilt top. And here's that one where I cut it a bit too short. No one's going to notice that once everything is sewn together. At least I don't think so. There is a multitude of ways that I could put this together. I could just put them together randomly, or maybe look for certain prints and put them together. So for example, I could take the cacti here, but just wouldn't quite work because these blocks are all the same. So maybe if I find some more cacti, I'm not sure if I have any more. Actually, I might not have. I'm sure I've got some brown ones. So let's see. I could put this one here. See if I can find another one, or 2 actually. But I'm not sure that this will work because I've got the same print twice down here and once up here. Although it is kind of a fun sort of secondary random block. So maybe I will try it, at least with some of the prints. So I haven't got a proper design wall, and what I normally use as a design wall, that is our bed, I can't really film there. There's nowhere to set up the camera. So how about if I put this one here? And again, I get the same ones there, so what about this one? And again, I get one here. So it's all just a matter of trying things. So maybe instead of going for 4 together, I could go for 3 together. So here I've got those 3. So maybe here I will put this sort of, I don't know if you can see that, this one. I think of it as sort of a disco print. Oh, I did actually end up with that there. Maybe not that one. I'm not sure I have more of that disco print apart from in this one. But I think that could work. So maybe that is what I'm going to play with. Another option would be to have, let's see, I started with this one. And then I would make sure that whatever I put next to it was always a contrast. So for example, here I would put a dark one, and maybe over here that could go with a brown, and here where it's a little bit yellow, that could go with something blue. So it's a big puzzle, and I really like this sort of challenge because obviously I'm restricted by the blocks I have, and I want to put them together in a pleasing way, but I'm not 100% sure what that would look like. Maybe doing it completely randomly without thinking about it would be a way to do it. Another option would be to think a lot about how the tonal values work. It's quite interesting to look at it through this red acrylic, because it strips away most of the color, and of course the red ones, they just look really pale. So since I haven't got room to play with this here on the table, I think I will play with my blocks off camera, and then I'll come back and show you how this quilt top has turned out. So I'll see you then. Here is the finished quilt top. I was going to talk about it as it was wafting in the wind in the garden, but someone in the neighborhood with a jackhammer or some other noisy machinery had other ideas. I went with this layout of 4 by 8 blocks. I had 32 blocks, so I wanted to use all of them, so it had to be this sort of rectangle quilt top, which is fine because I think I'll use it as a picnic quilt, and the long shape will be a great shape for 2 people sitting together on it. It took me a while to figure out how I wanted to lay out the blocks. In the end, I decided to use the blocks with the red sections as my starting point. So I wanted to make sure that they were sort of evenly distributed throughout the quilt top, because when I was looking at the blocks, the ones with red in them stood out quite a lot. The ones with green in them stood out quite a lot as well, and funnily enough, most of the blocks that have red in them also have the green color. So this is what it looks like. It's not really or at all to my taste, although I like some of the fabrics individually. I'm not super loving the end result, although I do kind of like it. That's kind of weird to say when I'm not loving it, or I don't know. But it's fine. It's going to be as I said, a picnic quilt. So I don't really mind what it looks like. It's just maybe it will live in the car, and if we go on an impromptu picnic, we'll have something to sit on. So I'm not sure when I'll actually finish it. I need to figure out what to put on the back of it. I'll have to have a look and see if I got any fabric that I can use for it. Maybe something that's a little bit heavier would be a good idea. I hope you have enjoyed these videos about making this Wonky 4-patch quilt block. I think it's a really fun block to make because it's so random, or you can make it really random. So if you make a quilt using this block, do tag me wherever you are or leave a comment. And please like the video if you did like the video. So I hope you have a great day and happy stitching.